Welcome to Unbiased. I'm your humble host, Will. I'm back at you with another video. Before I get into this video, can you please like, share, and subscribe to the channel? I'm a new platform. I'm trying to grow. And if you want to leave a comment, please leave a comment. I will reply back as long as your comment is respectful. All right, so let's get into the content. So this video is about the verses that came on 2 nights ago. Joe Thomas versus Donnell Jones. And when they announced that they was finna do uh a versus for Joe, I was excited because Joe is my favorite R&B singer. He always have been. I've been listening to him for a long time, and so I was excited, but I didn't know who he was going against. So I kept scrolling Facebook and I seen who his opponent was gonna be, and I said, "Oh, it's Donnell Jones." I was like, "They serious?" And then they confirmed that it was Donnell Jones. I was like, "Nah, Joe finna smoke him. He's finna smoke him." And he smoked him. And like I said, I ain't gonna say too much bad about Donnell Jones. I know he had recently had a car wreck some years ago. He had went through some things, but I don't know if it affected his voice or whatever. But he was not, you know what I'm saying? He's not a vocalist. He was never, even in his heyday, he was not a vocalist. Not to compare against Joe, you know what I mean? So Joe been doing this for a long time, and he still got it. And it reminds me when they announced this matchup. I went to a Joe concert last year. He came to Birmingham, which I'm from. From Birmingham. You've been watching my channel for a minute now. You know I'm from the 205. And Joe came up there, and it was sold out crowd at the BJCC, and Donnell Jones was on the card. They had Changing Faces on there too. Changing Faces came out there, they did their thing at the show. And when it got time to Donnell Jones, the post came out there, uh, they called it out and said he wasn't there. I don't know what had happened or whatever the case may be, but he did not come. Some people booed. I'm like, I was expecting Donnell Jones and I paid my money. But so okay. So they fast forwarded and went to Joe. And Joe tore it down. Man. He was singing all type of songs, you know what I'm saying? And I loved it. I enjoyed it. Um, he did his thing. So that was last year. And I knew he put on a show then. I said he definitely gonna put on a show, for the masses and for his verses. And it was in LA. And Joe came out there, did his thing. Fought the suits wise, I'm a suit guy myself. They both, dressed well. They did their thing for us, the suit game. And it just when they started singing, I couldn't hear what Donnell was saying, because I didn't watch the show until that morning, Friday morning, because I had worked that Thursday night. So I saw it Friday morning and I was watching it before I went to bed. And I was like, I couldn't hear nothing he's saying. I said, like the words are just not coming out clearly. And some people try to say it was the microphone and all that. It definitely wasn't the microphone because there was nothing going on with Joe microphone. You hear Joe clearly. So, like I said, even if nothing was going on with the microphone and Donnell Jones was back in his heyday and he still was singing like he usually sing, he still was no competition for Joe, bro. He just wasn't. He got the longest catalog. He got a couple songs, everybody like. He during the show, he ended up singing a song that I think he sung the song twice, to be honest, but it was a good song. I can't remember exactly what the song was because I'm not a Donnell Jones fan. I just know, I Wanna Be and uh, with two other songs that he do that I know about. That was up, that was up, that was up. But that's it. I know all the songs for Joe, but that's the only pushback that I have for Joe is he sung two songs back to back too, and that was "Don't Want to Be a Player No More." He did the remix and he did the original. I'm like, Joe, man, you got too much of a catalog to keep doing songs over and over again. And then you did Stutter twice too. You did the one with Mystica and you did the one without Mystica. I'm like, bro, you could have did Let's Stay Home Tonight And you could have did the song called "And Then" off the album "And Then," or you could have did a song called "Bedroom" off the album "And Then." I'm like, why is you doing songs over and over again? I mean, I understand that you're whooping his ass. At this point, I think Joe was like, man, I'm finna end this shit. You know, it doesn't even matter. He putting in cruise control, but Joe did his thing, man. And I'm gonna say it in my Mortal Kombat voice. It was a flawless victory, and he didn't. The fatality part came when 50 Cent came out there. That's when he hit him with the fatality. Cause Joe is a nice guy. I know he cool with Donnell, so he didn't really want to do him like that. But yeah, but I didn't. I expected 50 to come out there, but I wasn't sure because I know 50 had said something about when he had his beef with Ti that he don't really want to do verses and stuff. And if he then he kind of came back with it, and he was like, if he did do a verse, he didn't want to do no verses with nobody from the South. But it was good that 50 showed up for Joe, and I know 50 and Joe they tight, they good friends. And he showed him a lot of love, and then uh, I'm glad they did the Power song. The Power intro song that was good. Big Rich Town. I mean, they could have did more. Him and 50 and they did the G Unit song. They did part of that. I know him and Tony Yayo got a song with Joe. They could have did that. I mean, bro, I am happy for Joe though. It's a celebration for him. I'm celebrating for him. He deserved this. He deserved his flowers. Most artists, big time artists, they don't get their flowers until they gone. I done seen it over the years. I'm 40 years old, and I done seen a lot of artists get their flowers when they gone. Give it to them while they living. And I'm glad that the internet is showing Joe a lot of love, and they see that the guy can really, really sing. Now they are taking shots at Joe about how he sing, because his mouth goes sideways and he be hitting them notes. But I'm like, hey, you can't laugh at people how they sing. I mean, it is what it is. But the internet is undefeated. They gonna nitpick everything. So, but the bottom line is Joe put belt the ass on Donnell Jones. He mopped the floor with him. In my opinion, they should have did Joe versus Avant. Because that's another artist that I love. I love Avant. Avant is probably is number two for solo artists. 'Cause these guys are underrated, man. Joe is underrated. He always been underrated. Avant was underrated. Marcus Houston is underrated. Music Soul Child. I don't hear nobody talk about Music Soul Child. Music Soul Child is underrated. You know what I'm saying? I used to listen to him. So I don't get it. And these guys can sing, you know, but they didn't ever get, and they hate they didn't ever get the love that they supported. They deserve. And they had songs, they had albums. Nobody wasn't popping them as much as other mainstream artists. And as we know in the industry, we see to this day, they push certain people. They push certain people because Avant, Avant is like a classic guy. He's more of a classic guy. I know Music Soul Child is definitely a classic guy. Joe is a classic guy. Marcus Houston, he's on that B2K type stuff, but even though his group, Immature and IMX, they were there before B2K. But they on that type level. And that's honestly who I thought B2K should have went against in they verses. They should have went against, IMX, even though IMX was gonna beat them. Because they got more songs than B2K, but that would have been a better matchup. But I understand why they didn't do it, because they all on the same label. They hang out with each other, they boys, they watch each other grow up and all that type stuff. But that's probably why they didn't do it. But we'll see if they ever gonna do a verse for Marcus Houston or Avant, or even Music Soul Child. I wouldn't mind seeing them guys, touching the stage and getting their flowers, because I know they probably gonna do their thing. But I am happy for Joe. My boy Joe, he did his thing. Like I said, he could have probably had a better matchup with somebody else, but as the case may be, he smoked him. He was smoking on that Donnell Jones pack after the show. Him and 50. Tony Yo-Yo. Hunk of murder him. He just extra. But they did their thing. And I ain't gonna lie, I saw one person say they thought Uncle Murder was a young buck. And I said, nah, they did that, bro. They would have been able to do the whole song. That Buck would have came out there with Lloyd Banks, but I know Lloyd Banks and 50, they haven't been seeing eye to eye for a while. And of course, everybody know about him and Buck. But Buck, even though Buck has had more problems with 50 than probably any other member outside of the game, um, he'll come back. Buck will come back. He ain't showed that he'll come back. If the money right, he'll come back. But if they would have did that, but they would have destroyed him. They was able to do the whole song. They would have been over with. And I'm on my Modelo's with my boy Joe. Yeah, he deserved it. He deserved a lot of love. He been underrated his whole career. And he finally getting his love and the praise that he deserved. You know what I mean? He had a long career. Did songs for all type of people. Wrote songs for folk. You know what I'm saying? He was singing Case songs, which he always dug him and Case is cool. He always do that. Every show that I seen him do, he always sang one of the K songs. So he always gonna sing Faded Pictures, the song that they done together. But it's cool that he did it on the big stage. So salute to my boy Joe. You know what I'm saying? He put belt to ass. You did your thing. It was a flawless victory. Fatality when 50 Cent came out there and finished them off. Donnell Jones, you know, I don't know. Let me get to the other part. I forgot about the girls 702 when they came out there. They did their thing. They did their thing. Salute to those women. And the background singer dude that sung a song for Donnell Jones, he was okay. He was okay. No shame in that. He did all right. He did that, but Donnell, sorry, bro. Got to get better. That's all I can tell you. They murking you right now on the internet, and I understand that. So next time you get a show, you better make sure people are showing videos so it can go viral that say it was just an off night or something. That's all I could tell you. But Joe did his thing. He was in his bag, and Joe was making it look easy. That's what I liked. He was making it look easy. So again, salute, and I'm out. Catch me on the next video.